So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. You are welcome to today's lesson on binary operation. However, we are going to concentrate on finding the identity element and the inverse of an element from a table of operation. Okay, we know how to find the identity element, okay, and the inverse of an element, okay, not from a table of operation. But we are going to look at today's meeting, we will look at strictly finding these two, identity element, the inverse of an element from a table of operation. All right, okay. So quickly, let's look at the concept that you know, or you should know, okay, to find whatever that we are going to do very easy. Okay, so this is it. We know for a fact that, okay, if I have an operation star, any element, let's say A, okay, star, the identity element should give you what? Should give you A. Or the swap is also true. Okay, the identity element operating on what? A should also give you A. Is that clear? Hello, is that clear? Very good. All right. So once you have this, where we came from, okay. Once you know this, where E is the identity element, then you should know the behavior of the inverse as well. So we know that any element operating on the inverse, assuming the inverse of A is this represented by this, you know the inverse of every number, we write it as the number to a certain negative power. Okay, what would that give us? Any number operating on its inverse will give you what?
Identity element.
The identity element. So this should give us what? E. Or the swap is also very true. The inverse of the element operating on the element itself should also give you the identity element. So anytime you combine the element and its inverse, okay, under your operation, you should automatically get the identity element. So just as we call this the right identity and this the left identity, we equally call this the right inverse and the left inverse. However, okay, you realize that if your operation is commutative, then your left inverse and the right inverse will be the same, meaning they will be equal. So it's just a matter of taking one statement and working with it to find your identity elements. So in the same way, where your operation is commutative, your left inverse and the right inverse will automatically be the same. So you will get a unique inverse. Just as if it is commutative, you get the unique identity element. So in that case, if your operation is commutative, you are not supposed to find each of these statements, use each of these statements to find the left inverse. In this case, this is the right inverse, and what the left inverse, because you know they will coincide. So it's just a matter of using one statement. You know this statement will give you the same result when you use this statement. So it becomes necessary and at the same time sufficient to extract your inverse. So basically what I've said here is that, okay, before you can find the inverse, you have to know the identity element, because the inverse statement here involves E, which is the identity element. So if you don't know how to find the identity element, then you have to forget about the inverse, because without the identity element, you cannot find the inverse of an element. Am I clear? Great. Okay, so now quickly let's go and look at the following examples. Once you have this, okay, concept at your fingertips, let's go and look at how best we can, okay, deal with what we have here. Okay, so first work the example. Okay, the table below defined the operation star on the set. Okay, so the set contains 3 elements or members, and this is the table. The operation here is star. Okay, find the identity element or elements under your operation star. Okay, then B, what are we supposed to do? Hence, so we are supposed to use our results, because we know that before you can find the inverses, because this question is asking us to find the inverses, we have to rely on the identity element that we found in A. So if your identity element is wrong, indirectly, okay, your B automatically will be wrong. You set yourself up to fail. So anytime you are finding the inverse, okay, and you are taking all the time to find the identity element, don't be too worried. because the identity element holds the key to an exciting future. Is that clear? Great. All right. So this is what we have. Okay. Now, whether you have one identity element or two identity elements will depend on the nature of your operation, whether it is commutative or not. So let's see what we did yesterday. Okay. Let's see from this table. Okay. Is the operation commutative? It is, because
Yes, please.
each row reads exactly the same as its corresponding column. Row 1, okay, BCA, column 1, BCA, the same reading. Row 2, CAB, cab. Okay, column 2, CAB. Row 3, ABC, column 3, ABC. So each row reads exactly the same. So the operation is what? Commutative. So once the operation is commutative, how many identity elements are we going to get? How?
1.
1. Okay, so we know we'll get an identity element, not identity elements. Okay, so quickly, let's go and look at what the solution. And again, with this one, okay, the table is completed for you. So there is no need for you to reproduce the table in your solution. So take note, and you can see that I did it. The table is just here for me to make reference because I don't want to move from this slide to the previous slide, so that I'll have the table available for me to, okay, look at and use it, okay, as and when need be. So this is what you have. So solution is what you write first, then A. Okay, so your major question number is 1. Then you come to the sub question. Okay, A, what are we supposed to find? The identity element. And now we know that we are going to get only one identity element. I'm going to write something initially. Okay, I'm only going to write that to drum home a certain point. However, when you get that concept, I will give you a simple way to get the identity element. So here, you know for a fact that if E, okay, is your identity element under this operation star, then A star E should give you A. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, let me write it again. Okay, A star E. Okay, if E is the identity element, should give you A. The same way, okay, B star E should give you B. Am I right? If E is the identity element.
Yes.
And okay, last but not the least, my last element here, C star, the identity element, should also give me C. Is that clear?
Yes.
Great. Okay,
Yes.
great. So it means, okay, all that I'm supposed to go and do is to go to the table and look for an element that if I operate A on, it will not change the value of A. The result that I will get will still be A. An element that if I operate B on, okay, it will not change what? The value of B. It will still give me B. And same for C. So if you come here, let's see. Okay, A operating on what will give me A. So you go to where this row, the A row, or okay, the first row, where you have A. Okay, the same letter there on top of it. So it means A operating on C will give you A. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is what we have. A operating on C is giving you A. Now let's go to B. Okay, where I have B on the same line. Okay, B on top of it. So it is B operating on C is giving me B. Okay, so I'm equally going to write it. B operating on C is equal to what? B. Now let's go to C. Okay, on this same line, C is here. So it means it will be C operating on which is star C will give me C. So again, okay, I have C star C is equal to C. So if you compare, you see that E here is equal to C. Can you see that?
Yes.
If you compare, E here is also equal to C. E here is equal to C. So this means the identity element is which element? C. Okay, this is how you do it. However, I'll give you a very simple way to get it without stressing yourself, like I mentioned. So here, this is all that you are going to, you've done your inspection, so you are going to draw your conclusion. So therefore, okay, you say that C is what? The identity element, just as you mentioned. C is what? The identity element. So you write C is the identity element. Okay, since we are backing it with a reason, okay, I can continue here, but because of this, okay, you let me move it down, then continue. Okay. All right, so since if you want to back it with a reason, you just come and write, okay, A star C is equal to A. Okay, B star C is equal to B. And what? And, okay, C star C is equal to what? C. Okay, Resa, your hand is up.
Can it be a situation where after you check all of them, there was only one, like one, maybe when you check the B that has something to do with the C was a different identity element.
No, then it means your identity element is not unique. Remember, we said if your operation is commutative, your identity element will be unique. So your question is automatically answered. Before we started, we realized that we are going to get what? Our identity element to be unique, to be one. The same, okay, for all. So once it is going to be unique, then it means what you have here, okay, will be the same for all. It will not change. So you get only one identity element. But if it's not commutative, then you can get more than one. You can get two. Is that clear? I hope your question is answered.
Yes, please.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is what we have. However, this is the trick. And going forward, I expect you to make use of the trick. Okay, so this is what you are supposed to do. Anytime you are asked to find the identity element, this is what you do. Okay, you know, I've told you that when you are counting the row and column, you don't consider this and that because they will automatically be the same. Is that clear? Okay, so now I'm going to use my table element. My table element indirectly is this, the one in black. Okay, the table element. Okay, this one is automatic, this one is automatic. That will be your set element. That's what you use here. Okay, which will give you this. Okay, now this is it. Go to your table elements, which will be your generated elements. That's what I mean by the table element. Your generated elements are the elements in black. Look for the row or column that has the same reading as what? Your first column here or your first row. So the first row here, the first column, the reading is what? ABC. Is that not it?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at, I said you either go for row or column with the same reading. So now let's start with the column. The first column here is the reading ABC.
No.
Okay, this column, is it ABC?
No.
This column, is it ABC?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the column that has the same reading as this. So on top of that column, the elements there will automatically be your identity elements. My point well made, or I should come again? I should come again. All right, very well. No issues. Okay, so we said we don't want to go through the whole of the stress. Okay, there is a certain information or concept that will bring out the same information. Okay, so this is what we have. Okay, I said if you want to get the identity elements, when you have a completed table of operation, this is what you do. Okay, look for the row or column, that particular row or column that has the same reading as, okay, your first column or your first row. And if I talk of the row or column, okay, I'm referring to the generated row or the generated column. So these are not generated values. These were automatic values. Okay, that came from the set. So these are the generated values. So if you look at these generated values, okay, they will equally be made up of rows and column. So the generated values, my first column is this, second column, third column. First row, second row, third row. Is that clear? So you look for the row or column in your generated values that will have the same reading. If it is the column that gives you the same reading, then you look for the element to the top of that column. So here, if it is the column with the same reading, this is the column with the same reading. So on top of that column, the element is what you pick. This is the element that automatically becomes your identity element. If you go for the row, you can see that this is the row that has the same reading ABC. So if I go for the row, I look to the left, okay, of the row, the number there or the element there becomes my identity element. So if you are using the column, okay, you use the top element as pick the top element of that column with the same reading as what your identity element. If you are using the row, use the element to the left of your row as what the identity element. Is my point well made now?
Yes.
Okay, so this is it. So in this case, we realize that if you do that straight away, see, so we'll come and draw the same conclusion. However, this will not be done. And when you do that going forward, immediately I state my C, I will know how to write it because all of them operating on my identity elements will give the element itself. So writing this, I don't have to go and do any inspection. It will be automatic. As simple as that. So what we are going to do now, we are going to concentrate on the identity element. When the identity element is intact, then we'll come back and find the inverses. So we are going to do A for all the questions. Is that clear? Okay, Marlene.
It's not fun. It's always, if you're the one supposed, if we are filling the table ourselves, doesn't mean the trick also work for it.
Yes, it will work. Provided your operation is commutative, you get a unique identity. I mean, you cannot generate the table values here, okay, without knowing the operation and its rule. Remember what we did last vacation. If you are asked to generate the table value, then I have to give you the operation and its rule. So that, okay, when you know the elements of the set, you know how to combine them using the rule to get a particular result. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
And so whether it is generated by you or it is already generated, whatever we are doing now, anything that I will say will be the same. Is that clear?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, good. You are welcome. Okay, so now we are through with the identity element for this one. Okay, so let's go and look at the identity element for the question 2. We'll come to the inverses. Okay, so question 2, this is what we have. Okay, so we are asked to find again, A, find the identity element or elements under star. But first of all, let's check whether we get one identity element or two identity elements. Okay, so commutative or not commutative? I'm waiting. Is the operation commutative?
Yes.
Okay, it is commutative. Those of you who are through, each row reading the same as its corresponding column. So once it's commutative, then we are going to get a unique identity element. So remember the trick now, we are not going to do how we started, okay, dealing with it. We are going to use the trick. The trick is that look for the row or column with the same reading. Yes, please, Reza. Reza, your hand is up. Or is an
Yes, I was saying, can you please move back to the previous slide? The question, the first question.
We'll go back. We'll go back to it. Okay, so you just follow. We'll go back and do the other ones. Okay, so let's get the identity, get the understanding before you start writing. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. So now this is what we have. We've made the determination is commutative. So our operation, the identity element will be unique, will be 1. Okay, so let's look at the row, this one, A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. So we are looking at either the row or column that will have the same reading A, B, C, D. So you are going to concentrate on your generated table values here. Okay, this one you didn't generate, this one you didn't generate. You wrote them automatically using your element in the sets. Okay, this will be the generated value because this one, it will be this operating on that, giving you this. So it's a resultant or a generated value. So now what do we do? Okay, this one, A, B, C, D. Oh, so it's the first row. Okay, sorry, the first column that has the same reading. Is that not it?
Yes, please.
Okay, so this is the column with the same reading. Okay, so if you want to use the column, you pick the number or the letter, I should say, the element on top in this situation. So the element on top of this, okay, column with the same reading is what? A. So it means what will be identity element? A, as simple as that. So quickly, let's go to the solution and complete that. So I'm going to write, therefore, okay, I've done the inspection using the trick. Okay, A is the identity element. Okay, let me calm down. I'm going to continue, so I'm bringing this one down. Okay, so since with this one, no stress. Okay, I know A star A will give me A, comma, B star my identity element, which is A, will give me B. I won't even think about it because I know it will be automatic. If I go to C, comma, okay, C, okay, star my identity element, which is A, should also give me C. And okay, my D, okay, operating on the identity element A will give you D. And if you like, go and check from the table, you see that it is indeed true. Okay, so A operating on A is giving you A. Okay, B operating on A is giving you B. C operating on A is giving you C. D operating on A is giving you D. So indeed it's true. Though I didn't use the table, I know automatically it will be true by experience. Is that clear? My professors, are you really following?
Yes, please.
Great.
Yes,
All
please.
right. Okay, so we are done with 2A, the identity element. Okay, we are going to look at the next one. Okay, maybe we'll do 1 or 2 more, then we go to the inverses. Okay, I want us to use the second period to do the inverses. So let's go and look at the next question. Okay. So this time our operation is delta and the element PQRS. Okay, and again, A, we are supposed to determine the identity element or elements under your operation delta using the table. Okay, that's the only way. Okay, so let's see. First of all, let's check whether the identity element will be unique. Okay, is the operation delta commutative using the table?
Yes, please.
It is. Okay, so each row will read the same as what, or is reading the same as the corresponding column. So now let's see. We are supposed to look at the row or column that will have. So if I want to use the column, okay, then it means I have to consider my column reading here, PQRS. So let me look at the generated, okay, values, table values here, the column with the same reading, PQRS. This one, no, not the same reading, not the same reading. This one, the same reading, am I right?
Yes.
Okay, and this one, not the same. So it means the only column with the same reading is this. So what do? You go up there and you pick the elements. The element, you must always pick it from, okay, the one that you didn't compute. Okay, these are not the computer, so you always pick it. So that's why if you use the column, you pick it from up. If you use the row, okay, you pick it from the left, because this will be always to the left. So let's see whether if you use the row, we end up getting the same result. Is there any row with the same reading as this row, PQRS? It is this row. Can you see that? Okay, so to the left, what element do we have there? R. So if you use the column and somebody uses the row, are we going to get the same results? You will get the
Yes.
same results. You get it? Sometimes the row will not work, the column will work, and vice versa. Okay, and sometimes both will work. When both works, okay, then it means you get the same results. So take note. Okay, in this situation so far, okay, both will work. So in this case, when you go to the solution, we know what to do. Okay, so 3A, okay, we made that determination. Okay, that's, okay, our R is the identity element. So therefore, R is the identity, okay, element. Okay, then you attach your reason. Okay, and with this one too, I am not going to think. Okay, I know what to do. Oh, forgive me. Okay. Okay, I know the result, what it will be. If once that is the identity element, since I know my element here is P, Q, R, S. So it will be P, okay, delta. My identity element R will always give me P. Then comma, okay, I go to Q. Okay, delta, my identity element R will also give me Q. Okay, then the last but one, R, okay, delta R will also give me R. And the last one, okay, not the least, we are going to get S, delta, your identity element R will also give you S. And if you like, go and check. Okay, P delta R is giving you P. Q delta R is giving you Q. R delta R is giving you R. Okay, S delta R is giving you S. So without thinking, it will be automatic. Afa.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So one more. Okay, then we go back to the inverses. Okay, all right. Okay, so this is what we have. The last one, okay, is going to be this. Is the same PQRS. Okay, so first of all, let's check whether the operation this time round, nabla, okay, is commutative from the table. Is nabla commutative?
Yes, please.
Okay, because each row is reading the same as, okay, its corresponding word column. Very good. Now, if that is the case, then it means we know we'll get one identity element. Okay, so let's go to the solution. We'll still have that table there. Then we pick, you used our trick. So which row, okay, or column? If you want to use the column, first of all, let's use the column. Okay, the reading PQRS. Which column? Okay, from your generated values, okay, will have the same reading. So this is the first, second, third, fourth. So which column will have the same reading? The fourth.
S.
The fourth. Did you say column S? Okay, the fourth. Okay, you are in a hurry to write your answer. All right. Okay, so this is what we have. And because you use the column, okay, you will get your result from the row and it will be on top. Okay, so in this case, the element here is what we use. So we will say that therefore, okay, S is the, and please take note, we are using small letters, so you should equally make sure you write small letters. Okay, so is the identity element. Okay, under your operation, and what is your reason? You attach your reason. So you know how to attach the reason now. So we are not supposed to stress ourselves. Okay, so since with this one, the same thing. Okay, it's P. This time around is a snabla. S will always give you P, comma, Q, nabla, oops. Okay, nabla S will give you, okay, Q. Okay, then R, nabla S, okay, will give you R. And, okay, your S, nabla S is also giving you S, or will give you S. Clear? Okay,
please.
great. Okay, so now if that's the case, okay, we are going to have our water break by 8:05. We should all be back. Is that clear? Then we'll come and continue with the inverses,
Yes,
where
please.
it will be a little technical but not difficult. Okay, like I said, I will break it down for you to get it. I will give you all the tricks, okay, for you to easily get it. Okay, so you are welcome back from the water break. Okay, so now finding the identity element is easy peasy. I walk in the park now. Okay, so now let's go and look at how to find the inverses of what particular element. Okay, under the given operation. So B, we're asked to find the inverse of A, the inverse of B, the inverse of what? C. Okay, I, and I, respectively. So quickly, let's go and look at the solution. It's so simple. You just need to know your inverse concept. So if A to the power -1 is the inverse of A, then I know that A operating on, so the operation here is star, its inverse should give you what? The identity element, am I right?
Yes,
Okay, but what is the identity element under this operation?
C.
C, so it should be equal to C. Is that clear? So you come to, did you say no?
No, I'll have to ask a question.
Okay, all right. Okay, so please, I guess you are all following. If you are not following, let me know. Okay, especially this is the first example for the inverse. We know that any element operating on inverse will give you the element itself. So now, forgive me, we'll give you the identity element. And we know the identity element is what? C. So we know our E. That's why I said without the E, you cannot find what? The inverse. So we are looking for this. So you come to the operation here. Let me clear this. Okay, so you come to what we have there. I think, let me see whether I can, clear it straight away without picking the razor. Okay, all right. So this is what we have. We are using our table, definitely. Okay, so C, with this time round, you want your results, A operating on something should give you C. So on this line, where you have C, on top of it, the element there will be what your, so in this case it's like you can even do A operating on what will give me C, A operating on B is giving me C. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
please.
so I can come and write A operating on what? On from the table on B is giving you C. So if you compare, what will be A inverse?
B.
B. So you draw your conclusion, therefore, so I can write, maybe let me write but, okay, this, therefore, A inverse is equal to what? B. All correct?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, we'll do more. Okay, so don't worry. So again, please help me. B star B inverse will give us what?
C.
Will also give us what? C. Okay, so but you go to the table. Okay, B operating on what? So B operating on what is giving you C? B operating on A is giving you C. So B operating on A is equal to a C. So if I compare, therefore, okay, I will get my B inverse to be equal to what? A. Afa.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do the last one. The subsequent ones, I will call you at random, okay, to help me deal with the solution. Okay, so the last one that we have here, okay, we have C, the element C operating on, okay, its inverse, which is C to the power -1, should also give us the identity element, which is C. So, but, okay, C operating on what will give you C? So let's look at the table. C operating on what is giving us C? C operating on C is giving us C. Can you see that? Okay, so it means what I left out here will be C. So now if you compare, we can draw our conclusion. Therefore, the inverse of C is equal to a C. Because if you compare, this is C, this is also C. So this inverse must also give you C. So that's what we have there. As simple as that. Any questions, or I should come again? Are we all fine? So far, so very good.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, we thank God. Let me see. Someone sent a message. Okay. All right. Okay. Risa, which one was short? Yesterday's I sent two videos. That's just by the way. One was on the solution to the previous assignment, and one was for what we did in class. So yesterday we got reached our target or attain our targets. Okay, before time. So because of that, were you not in class, Risa?
I was, but I had to leave.
You had to leave. Your head like mine. You left without permission, and you are coming to worry me. You know the rules. You left without permission. If I knew crank, I'm in few cry. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so this is what we have. Now that I know, I won't mind you. Okay, so we are going to move on to the next one. Okay, so the next one again, we are finding the inverses of A, B, C, and D. Now that we know the identity elements. So let me see. Okay, there's the time that I have to be calling you one after the other. Yeah, Lauren. Lauren, you have the floor. Okay, if you are talking, unfortunately, I can't hear you. Lauren, unmute then talk. Your hand is up unless it's a mistake. Okay, so let's move on.
Mr. Hackman, please, I'm having network problems. So
Okay, so try to connect. We are going to do more. If you are not able to
please, I
connect,
couldn't
then
get what you just
so that
the slide that just went
so
because I was
that's
having network problems.
yes, that's what I said. We are going to do more. I will explain the same thing as we move along because it's the same thing that we are going to do. Okay, so I'm not going to go back. I'll factor you in when we are looking at the solution to the question 2, the B. Okay, so if you don't get it and still you have network issues, then you have to wait for the video. Okay, you watch then. Okay, you better your understanding. Is that clear? All right. Okay, so let's go. Since I can't trust your network, maybe when I'm explaining, it will still have that issue and it will draw us back. Okay, so quickly, pardon me, I will move on. All right, so let's see. I said I was going to call you one after the other at random. Okay, let me see.
Yes, please.
Okay,
Yes,
Elikem, let's go. We are looking at what? That of what? The I, which is the inverse of what? A. So tell me what you write. A is already there. Elikem, can you hear me? Are you there? If you don't respond, you are a suspect.
Yes.
Very good. Let's go.
A star A inverse
Uh-huh.
to give us A to be equal to A.
Will be equal to A. Very good.
So we look for the elements in the table that
So your presentation is what I'm looking for. You
when
tell
A
me.
okay,
But
but A star
okay, you leave a space. Should give you A. So you go and look for it. Is that not it?
yes, please.
Okay, so A star, what will give you A from the table?
A star A.
A star A. So now you can draw your conclusion. Therefore,
Therefore, A inverse is equal to A.
very good. A inverse is equal to A. Okay, so that is it. Okay, for the I. Let's see. Okay. Sadem, let's go. Prof. Sadem, let's go. Mm-hmm. Sadem.
Sir,
Okay, Mr. Hackman, you mean?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. So let's go.
That is what am I finding? B inverse.
No, you are finding B inverse. So once you see B here, then it means you are finding the inverse of B. So what will be the first statement that you write?
B star B inverse.
B star what?
B inverse.
B inverse should give you what? Hello, come again. Should give you. Come again. Said them. You are on mute. So on mute, then talk.
Okay. B star B inverse should give you
Should give you. Hey, that one is not coming out. It's like you are not confident of what you are saying.
So I said B.
It should give you B. Why B? Any element operating on its inverse should give you what element? Okay, so is B your identity element under this operation?
No, A.
You see why I always say, okay, think before you, okay, you know it. So I think the thing I know you know it. But sometimes I don't know that spirit. You should have that discerning. Okay, there's not all spirit that you are supposed to listen to. Okay, so in this case, you know, you ask yourself, I'm supposed to get the identity element. So what is the identity element? The identity element is A. So immediately you go and write B, you are doomed. The rest will be a waste of time and effort because you are using the wrong identity to find the inverse. You get the point?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you found the identity, so it should give you A. Now let's go,
Yes.
but
But B
B star, you leave a space if you like, is equal to A. Let's go and find whatever we have to operate B on to find A. So from your table,
star B.
B star what?
D.
C for cat.
No, D.
D. Okay,
Yes.
so B star D. Okay, D for dog. Okay, should give you. So now you can draw your conclusion. Therefore,
Inverse.
B inverse is equal to
A.
A.
No, D. Sorry.
But we watch it, yeah. All right. Okay. So this will give us what? Obviously, what you've done the work. It's just about you comparing and writing D. So if you get it wrong here, I will not be happy at all. But unfortunately, I cannot give you the marks because when we are marking the one rule, no marks for sympathy. So I can only share your pain or the pain, but I cannot give you the marks. Okay, all right. So I'll come to you again to see whether indeed you are okay. You are now able to listen to the right spirit. Okay, all right. So keep it up. Okay. All right. So let's go. The next one, my input shouldn't come in. Okay, Vanessa, let's go.
Mr. Hackman, please, you write C star inverse of C will be equal to A.
Very good.
It's C star C will be equal to A.
But C star C is equal to A. Is that what you said?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Therefore, the inverse of C is equal to C.
It's equal to C. Very good. All right. Okay. Stephanie Edu, let's go. Stephanie, let's go. Stephanie Edu, are you there? If you don't respond, you are a suspect. I remove you. It means you joined and you've left. If you have issues with your audio, then type. Send me a chat. Other than that, you'll be removed. You cannot come to class and leave without permission. You know the rule. And give us the impression that you are with us. If you are leaving, you leave, then we don't see you here. Stephanie, are you there? All right. Unfortunately, I'm left with the...
I sent a message.
She has sent a message. Okay, let me see. You can hear me, so you talk on mute and talk. I will know whether your audio is bad or it's not bad. I want to see you, so on mute and talk. If it's bad, I will know. Stephanie, on mute and talk. Hello. We can hear you. It's not bad at all. It's very fine. So let's go. Okay, then indeed. Okay, maybe. All right. So that's okay. You are here with us. Okay, Nanaya, let's go. Nanaya, are you there? Let's go. Hello, Nanaya.
Hello.
Let's go. Hey, what is happening? It's now on mute. So let's go. No, you have. It's. Please unmute. Don't touch it. So talk. Nanayo, let's go. Prof. Nanayo, let's go. What is that? Oh, what is happening? Hurry up. We have more questions to deal with. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Abna Ijewa, let's go. Nanaya, work on the audio. I'll come back to you. I'll call you again. Okay. All right. Abna Ijewa, let's go. Hey, why is it that all of a sudden all of your audio is not working? Abna Ijewa, let's go. Is it intentional that you on mute, then you are quiet as if you are talking? Okay. Efia, let's go. Efia.
Is that my
I can hear you. Let's go. D star.
D inverse?
D inverse. Very good. Is equal to A, your identity element. But D star, what will give you A? So just look at the A. You can't see very well. Is it better? Is it better now?
Yes, please.
Okay, so give me the answer. Let's go. You shouldn't waste time. Okay, so this rule, just look at the D. D star what?
D star B.
D star B. Okay, so therefore, your D inverse will be equal to
B.
B, as simple as that. So just look at the element that you want to get is A. Okay, so A on top of the topmost element there is B. So that will be what you write here, as simple as that. Okay, is my point well made? Okay, Akosia, your hand is up.
Yes. Ejewa has sent a message.
Okay, all right, because I'm fully okay. I'll read. Okay, so no worries. Okay, all right, thank you, my secretary. All right. Okay, so Ejewa, I couldn't hear you. So if you can hear me, fine. Work on the audio. Probably I might come back to you. Okay, so now we are done with question 2. Quickly, let's go and look at question 3. Okay. So question 3, this is what we have. If you're able to do this, then I can give you your classwork. Or we'll do, okay. Let me see. Okay. Saj, who is at Saj? I always call you, you don't respond, but you are always in class. Who is at Saj? Hello, who is at Saj? Please unmute and talk, otherwise I'll remove you. Okay, so if you can hear me and you have audio issues, you can type. Okay, Abigail, you can't hear me. Can you hear me now? Okay, Saj, please unmute then talk. Otherwise, you leave me with no other option than to remove you. Because you have to talk for me to know that you are in class. Okay, NM, let's go.
P delta P inverse
Okay, so P delta P inverse
is equal to R.
is equal to R. Okay, why R?
Because R is identity element.
Very good. So let's go.
But P delta S
S.
is equal to R.
Okay, so you have found it straight away.
Therefore, P inverse is equal to S.
Perfect. Okay, so you all agree. Okay, Chrysler, let's go. Chrysler, let's go. Q what? Delta. Q inverse should be equal to
R.
R.
Mr. Hackman,
Yes, please.
please, there is a mistake
A
from
mistake
the
where?
table. from the table.
There is no mistake. You are using the table, so use it.
Please, the Q.
There is no mistake.
Oh.
I'm happy for her. There is no mistake. She's
Mr.
no,
Hackman, the Q repeated itself. Oh, Mr.
there is no mistake. It can repeat itself
Mr.
100
Hackman.
times. There is no mistake. Don't you think there is a
Oh,
mistake, but there
Chantel.
is no mistake.
Mm.
Yes, you can see that from the table. Okay, from the table, you are not able to pick that element that you operate Q on to get R. Is that not it?
Yes, please.
So what will you say?
Hey.
So therefore, Q has no inverse. It's not all elements will have inverse.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes, please.
Don't force yourself for the element to have an inverse. Okay, in fact, I'd wanted to take this one out and bring it in the test and see what will happen. Whether you call me and tell me that there is a problem with the question. There is no problem. Okay, so that you've stated the condition. So if you're able to get an element that meets that condition, then you write it. If it does, then it means that your element Q has no inverse. So in this case, you are not able to get. So you have what, therefore Q has no inverse. As simple as that.
Please,
Exactly.
thank you.
Yes. So you were not lucky. You didn't get an inverse. All right. Okay. So that will be it. Resa. Yes, please. Very good. At this point, I want to see whether you people can make analysis very well. Resa.
Okay, Peter, I was saying that when you put, let's say, the P
Come again.
P delta P, you get Q. So what happens to the subsequent elements that are under P, that are under the Q? What do they
No,
do?
relax. I don't get your point. It seems your line is breaking. Come again.
When you're operating how do you put it? How do you put it when you're operating one?
Which one do you want to operate? What is your intention? What do you want to get?
I'm operating P
on what? So P operating on what? Resa, come again. P operating on what?
P.
P operating on P.
Yes.
So P operating on P is this.
Yes. So the subsequent ones, the S, the P, and the R, those ones, what do you have to like? What do you do to get them?
No, are you talking about this?
No, the ones that fall under. Not only P operating on P per se. When you do for all of them.
How you are looking at how to read a table?
Yes.
Oh, the table that we've gone beyond how to read. It is just this. Okay, P operating on Q will give, sorry, in this case, P operating on P is this. P operating on Q is this. P operating on R. It's just the same thing as when you were giving values and you were operating and filling in the values. So if you are looking at Q to be Q operating on P, that will give you what you have here. Q operating on Q will give us what you have here. Q operating on R will give us this. Q operating on S will give us this. Is that clear? We did this, okay, in our last vacations classes. You could operate and compute your values. So now the values are given. You are not able to determine which elements operated on what to give you the values here. You should be able to go back. So if I see this element, is coming from to the left, this Q. If I'm looking for what gave me this Q here, I'll look at to the left, the element here is Q. So it will be Q. to the top, okay, the element is what is Q. So it will be Q operating on Q. That will give me the Q here. Is that clear?
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. Okay, so that was just by the way. Okay, she took us way off what we have there. I was expecting a particular question which has not come yet. Okay, let me see whether maybe along the line it will come. If it doesn't, okay, then it's like you are taking everything that I say, hook, line, and sinker. Okay, and right as well. Okay, so let's see R. Anyone to help with R? Okay, so Jacinda, let's go.
R delta R inverse
Okay, delta R inverse
is equal to R.
is equal to R.
But R delta R is equal to R.
Okay.
Therefore, R inverse is equal to R.
Perfect. As simple as that. Okay, so you can see that it's not difficult at all. Okay, then, okay, hey, Amma, you want to do the next one?
Sir, please answer a question.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Sir, please, for the inverses,
Mm-hmm.
the first step, we're not supposed to add given to it, right? We
No,
should
this
just
one.
do it like this.
This one.
Yeah.
No, you can
Yeah,
see
for
that
all the inverses.
if you write giving, okay, you can only write giving P, then come down and write this. But if you write this, were you giving this?
No.
No. So anytime you write giving, it means you are picking the information directly. Dito, copy and paste. Okay. Obviously, so if you want to write, then you have to write giving P before you come and write, okay, this implies that P operating on P inverse is equal to R. Or you can write, but P operating on P inverse is equal to R. Okay, then you come and write, this implies that P operating on S is equal to R. Then you move on. But you cannot write giving and write the whole of this because we are not giving the whole of this. We are giving only P for I. Okay, very good. All right, okay. All right, I know she's so particular about the presentation, so I'm not surprised she's asking this question. Okay, all right. Okay, so and that is what you should also be mindful of. So S, the last one, then your assignment comes. Okay, anyone to help us with the S? Christian, let's go. What is your operation? I want the name of the operation. Delta.
S inverse.
Should give us your audio has a feedback. I don't know whether you are close to a gadget. If you are close to a gadget, please, any electronic gadget, move away from that gadget. Or move the gadget away from it. So let's go. S operating on S inverse is what? We are having a feedback. Oops. Unfortunately, I have to. Okay. Please, let me give the question to another person. Work on your audio. The feedback is bad. Okay, Joel, let's go. Are you here? Joel, are you here?
Yes, please.
Okay, let's go.
Okay. So
S operating on S inverse is equal to?
It's equal to R.
Perfect.
But
very good.
S operation P.
Okay, what's the name of the
to
operation?
R. Delta.
Delta. P is equal to R. Okay.
Therefore, S inverse is equal to P.
Perfect. You've adapted so well. Keep it up. Okay, you didn't join early, but you are doing so well. All right. Okay. S inverse is equal to what? P. I like that. All right. So very good. So this will be okay. end of what we are supposed to do, okay, this morning. Okay, however, please, this is going to be your assignment. Do justice to this question for me. Now, I know you all have indirectly a perfect, okay, understanding. So this is it's a classwork. I don't want to give any homework so that some of you, I have about 51 students here, 52, including myself, so 51 students. So at least I'm supposed to get 51 students, exercises to mark. Okay, so now by 8:50, you should all be done. Maximum 8:50, you should submit your work. So this is the assignment, the class assignments. Let me even add class to it. Oops, okay. Okay. All right, I'll capture and send it to the platform as well.